Hello and welcome to episode number 5 of the Varied Gary podcast. Okay, right off the bat with the tongue twister, here you go. The Chart Society and High Tides Arts and Community Center present as a part of the Great Launch Project, the Stanfields. That's right, the Stanfields are playing in Maitland. It's going to be an awesome show. I think everybody's going to really like the venue. I have Scott Fraser here to talk to me about it today. He filled me in on what they've been doing all summer and what he plans to keep doing. He's been doing it for a while. He's been bringing music to the communities and the small communities that he lives in, and he's really passionate about it. He's a hell of a guy. And this show here, this is going on Saturday, October 21st at 7 p.m. It's going to be held at the High Tides Arts and Community Center in Maitland. You can get tickets at www.thegreatlaunchproject.ca, or you can pick tickets up at Freeze and Roy in Maitland, Brookfield Bakery, Hurricane Heidi's in Brookfield, or Jamali's Bakery Cafe here in Truro. I'm just going to go right to the podcast now, and he's going to fill your ears full of knowledge that you didn't know about, because I didn't really hear about this. I don't know. I guess there's probably a lot of people that hear about stuff that I don't. But anyway, I thought it was important to get out there. So enjoy the podcast. And, they also have plays at the community center. Sorry about that. Jump back for a minute. This is part of the tongue twister also. Founding Fathers. Okay, one more time. Founding Fathers of Confederation is the play. It's in the final performance of the season. It's going to be held Saturday, September 23rd, Sunday, September 24th, and it's going to be held at 7 p.m. both nights. Tickets are $8, and once again, that's at the High Tides Arts and Community Center in Maitland. So enjoy the podcast, and here you go.
Well, if y'all rock with me tonight, I heard a song on the radio.
Scott Fraser is here. Talking about, here, just pull that microphone right close up to your mouth there.
Okay. Hello?
Yeah, you're definitely on. I tried to work this out. Trying to work the kinks out from the last podcast. It was brutal. Oh.
Okay.
Anyway, you got some venues to talk about. You got some, you're doing something.
Yep. So we have
Let's hear it.
going on. It's called the Great Launch Project, which basically is a coordination of a group that we're part of up in Maitland, which is called Chart Society, which is culture, heritage, and art. So what happened is we've bought the old St. David's Church in Maitland, purchased it in this past December, and we've basically been using the church as a music venue, and also been doing plays. There's a couple people involved in the group that do write plays, that actually buy like their own stories of plays,
Right.
And they have right now there's one called the Floundering Fathers of Confederation, which is based going back to the 150th anniversary.
Oh, nice. Okay, yeah.
So it goes back to the whole hula, blah, blah. So Maitland, if you go back in history, is a big shipbuilding town. William Lawrence built the biggest wooden ship ever in history. Ever.
Oh, you were talking about this, I think, when we played out in the fire hall there.
Yeah.
I think you told me about this a little bit. That was a couple of years ago,
Yeah,
wasn't it? Can you just pull the mic up just a little bit? These are pretty directional.
Okay, cool. Okay,
Yeah, there you go.
Yep. Yeah, so we there's the group that we're part of, my wife and I, they've been doing like a parade and plays and stuff for 20, 30 years actually, which is based on the Justin Entire, right? Basically, here's a picture of the era of shipbuilders.
Oh yeah, I see. Yeah, right.
Yep. So with this going on, we've had it going on, which was part of the Great Launch Project, which has gone on all summer.
Yep.
They've had them all summer. The last bunch of them come up next week, actually, September 23rd. and the 24th. And they're basically that, and there's also a lobster dinner going on.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
And you can go to right here. It's called the Great Launch Project.ca, and has all the information for all the different stuff that's going on.
Yeah, I'll be posting
And-
those links and everything.
And then the grand finale is actually the 21st of October, which we've booked the Stanfields.
Oh, nice.
Which for the grand finale, which kind of ties into the heritage background, right?
Yep.
Nova Scotia. So we got a grant through part of
Jeez, you got all your stuff there.
Canada 150 celebration. So the idea was the group kind of came to me. I've done bookings for shows before, and basically said, "Well, who do you want to get? Tell me who you want." Just started about 8 months ago, and that's where I went. They said we want to get the Stanfields. A bunch of people said, "Yeah, let's get the Stanfields." So basically, we went and we got some grants, and then I got sent a first email out to them, basically, and then Jason McIsaac, who does all their bookings, got back to me, and we just basically back and forth situations, and basically came up with a date.
Nice.
Back and forth, and then
Yep.
they sent a rider to me, and then we basically now we're in the mode of tickets have been on sale for 3 weeks.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So we got tickets at the Great Launch Project.ca. We got tickets at Fritz and Roy, which is in Maitland. We also have tickets at Jamali's in Truro.
Yep.
And we also have tickets at Brookfield Bakery.
Oh, okay. Good.
So it's
good.
kind of tying in. And so what's going to actually happen that day is there'll be a parade, and then they basically reenact and they do whiskey barrel racing, which goes back to it used to be a dry town, right?
What do
Way
they
back
do?
when
What do they do for the whiskey barrel racing?
They grab them and they have like a little track. They get or whoever
Oh,
first
okay.
comes in.
Right.
So that tying in, we actually have a whiskey tasting going on.
Oh, nice.
We have a guy coming from the valley doing a whiskey taste. He has his own whiskey. So this will all go on October 21st in the afternoon. So we've booked the fire hall too. So what's going to happen is we're going to be using the store, Fitz and Roy, where the whiskey tastings will be happening on it. We've booked Eric Peters from Truro,
Okay.
Jeff Brown from Halifax, and we're working on 2 other people. And the fire hall will be open around 4:00 in the afternoon. So the parade will start. It'll be start around 2 and then end around 3:34. There's also a church supper. And then we're going to have pre-show at the fire hall.
Oh, that sounds
So the
good.
fire hall will be handling the liquor. So there'll be a bar.
Yep.
And then the Stanfields are going on around 7:38ish, doing about a 90-minute set. So we'll do like a 45-minute take a break, and then people can walk. It's like less than a 4-minute walk to the hall, have a drink, and then come back
Oh, nice.
and go from there. And then we're talking about keeping the hall up open later after the show.
Yep.
So kind of everyone involved and see what happens, right?
Why not, eh? Oh, I'm gonna crack my beer. Cheers to that.
Cheers, yeah.
Good work, sir.
So thank you for having me on here to get the information out.
yeah, no
So,
problem.
getting the information, and the church that we've bought was actually built in 1858.
Oh, nice.
And
So they're gonna have it. So it's like right in the. I seen the pictures
Yeah,
that you sent
yeah,
me,
yeah.
which also is
Yeah,
gonna go
yeah,
on this.
yeah.
But yeah. So what does this sound like? Somebody asked me about this at work the other day. They're like, "I bet that would sound pretty good."
that's probably the best I've heard around for acoustically.
Yeah.
Acoustic. Like you don't have. It's going to be kind of curious to see with the Stanfields because we're actually using their sound guy too.
Oh yeah.
The sound to see because they're not going to need a lot of power.
No, not
Because
at all.
acoustic is there, right?
That's what I was getting at.
And we
Yeah,
actually have
right.
a balcony. There's actually a balcony up top too.
Yeah.
So it carries a lot. And like Tim Bauer's been here and helped me a little bit with the sound. And he's just like, yeah, like it's
It's amazing.
Yeah,
eh?
yeah,
yeah.
it's-
And like the older the church, the better off you
Yeah.
probably would have been
yeah,
anyway.
and it's all tongue and groove on top, right? It all stays in there. This will be our 4th show there. We had a guy from England named Ethan Ash, and he did an all acoustic set, and it was he turned it all down, and basically he just went off a mic
yeah.
with a guitar.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah,
that's really
so that's
good.
we're kind of curious with the Stanfields, right? Because they can have a double-sided sword sound. They can either
Yeah.
do really acoustically or they can do loud rock, right?
Yeah,
And
that's
what
how
we're
I
kind
got
of-
introduced to the Stanfields. They put on a hell of a show.
Yeah, so we're kind of back and forth, right? So that's with been talking with Jason. They don't really do acoustic as much anymore.
Yeah, right.
But they will do a little bit of acoustic. So it's going to be kind of to see how it happens with the church. That's the idea of kind of the background of the purpose of this is providing a new venue with a unique sound,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Kind of cookie cutter away from the bars, that kind of stuff, right? Trying to put shows on that people can pay, nothing more than say $20.
Yeah.
We also have a hall separate to the church.
Yeah, right.
So the idea is once we get zoned for food and all that kind of stuff is do intimate shows.
That's great. That'd be really good.
And I think there's a market for that. I
Yeah.
believe there's a market, kind of the same idea as the Carlton.
Yep.
like in Halifax. Kind of not the same thing, but kind of that crowd, right?
Yep.
Because people will pay money,
Oh yeah.
and for intimate stuff like that, 'cause
Yeah.
it's going to hold roughly 150 to 160, and the stage is just actually getting rebuilt again. So it's they're basically
Wait, how many?
160, 150, 160.
Are you serious? Holy Jesus. Obviously, I've never been to that one before.
Yeah, It's the St. David's Church. It's basically on Church Hill.
Okay.
So it's got some it's got some nice sound. It's got some room. We're kind of debating how much room.
Yeah.
Because they're all pews, right? We're kept all pews. They're still the original pews.
Yeah, that's what I seen there too. Everybody.
Yeah.
So yeah, you have the option of sitting in there. Is that where you want them to sit?
Yep,
Like,
yep,
oh,
yep.
okay,
That's
good,
the idea. So
good.
there's been a talk back and forth of do we take some of the pews out? And you're kind of taking away the whole, because the idea of our mandate as Chart, the group that bought the building, is to help with the community, and anyone can rent it. So like for weddings, right? So it's a little church, so there could be a market for someone to have it. Like if you're getting married or a buddy gets married, whatever, right?
Yeah.
For weddings. Artistic people out there to do plays or music, whatever. Right? It's open. It's a full ball open. And there's also a separate building, the hall, which could also be done for music.
Yeah, right.
It's all tongue and groove inside,
Yeah, nice.
and so that is actually zoned for 110 people.
Wow.
We're probably around 100 with chairs, with seats. So we're kind of playing back and forth. So with our first year, we're kind of playing the game of
That's a nice number, like, of people to have.
Yeah.
That's a really good, because you'll sell all those tickets, like.
yeah. That's right now. So right now, as of today, roughly we're sitting at around 78 tickets sold already for Stanfields right now.
Oh, okay, and you're still a month away from
Yeah,
it.
yeah. So we're kind of but part of it, we're kind of just trying to encourage people that are local to get their tickets now because we're online, right?
Yeah, right. Yep.
They can eat the tickets quick up, and then basically once they advertise themselves at all, the Stanfields, right? They're gonna have their crowd, right? Their crowd
Yeah.
people, right? Because they haven't played Truro, I believe, for a while. So and it's a different venue.
Yeah, the last time I would have seen them here was Music Week.
Yeah. So I think they were here like maybe last year.
Oh, were they?
I think, but yeah, but it's been a while.
Okay,
So the
yeah.
last time would have been probably when they did the Blacktop, their Blacktop festival up in New Glasgow.
Oh, okay.
Pictuary. They do that. That was back in August.
Yep.
So we actually got, my wife texted me saying actually we got tickets from New Glasgow area, people buying tickets online.
Oh,
So,
nice.
no, right? And
that looks good.
That's kind
yeah.
of the idea behind the whole thing, right? It's kind of getting people from not from the area to come.
Yep.
It has to survive, right? Like, we want it's based on the community group, but at the same time is that for it to survive,
Yep.
we have to get people to come from away. And because it's part of tourism, right? Because it's a tourist kind of area,
Yep.
it kind of helps the whole bed and breakfast,
Yes.
restaurants, that kind of things, right?
So like when I talked to you, when I bumped into you before and we talked briefly about this, it was I don't think I quite got it.
Yeah.
Until you sent me the pictures and stuff, and I was just like, oh man, that would be something, because I don't really like huge crowds. I like little shows like that. I was just talking to my friend John Sperry that was just on the podcast, and we're saying like stuff like Keggers. That was a great little spot.
Yeah.
Not too crazy packed. The crowd was really good, and the acoustics were excellent.
Yeah.
But that's a show that I'm definitely going to be going to.
And
I
it's the
think.
same thing, right? It's that whole generation crowd, right? So you got
Yep.
the crowds of the mid 30s.
Yep.
I'm in my mid 40s and up. They're the people with the money.
Yep.
And why? So who wouldn't, in reality, pay, even if necessarily you don't like them, but let's say just for entertainment value, the Stanfields for $20?
Yeah. Right.
Intimate. Like, what are you? I'm just saying, like,
What are you going to
hundreds-
do for $20?
Yeah.
Like nothing in this
Like, that's
town,
more than
right?
going to
It's-
McDonald's. That's more than going for 2 Big Macs and fries.
Yeah, that's right. It's true.
It's right. Or
Yeah.
like whatever. Right. It's four extra large coffees from Tim's.
yeah.
The same principle, right? So I mean, it's all about. I believe it's all about the perspective of the intimate part, right? In the world that we live in now, everyone's got a phone. Everyone can get to YouTube. Everyone get to. So that goes back to, I remember the reasons why I love going to shows. I love going to shows to see bands I like and seeing them live to see what they're going to do different, and see how they perform live.
Yep.
And how it sounds live to the album, or maybe they'll do something different and say, you know what, we're gonna do something different tonight. Or maybe they had friends show up, or maybe they do a cover that you're like, I've never heard that band before.
Yeah, right.
A lot of bands I'm like, wow, they covered their, like, it's them doing it, but it's a cover, and you go, it puts you on to other stuff. You're like, okay, this is cool. I love that song. Who is that band? Which helps me go, wow, okay, it connecting the dots kind of.
Yep. Absolutely.
I'm not. I think that's kind of cool when I show people I know, go, wow, did you see? What do you think of that? And because you watch people with the computers on, and you're kind of going, everything's about a single, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And the world and for me, you're thinking, I know for myself, the shows I've gone to, I've kind of gone, I'm always curious about how they're going to sound live.
Oh yeah.
How are you going to pull it off?
Yeah.
And I don't play myself, but I mean, I just for like watching music and listening to a lot of music I listen to, I'm always curious to see how it's going to sound live.
Yeah.
And acoustically, like I love watching people who can
Yeah,
play.
you've been to some big concerts and everything. How
Yep.
like how avid of a concert goer are you? Like many times a year on average, do you think?
Hardly now.
now?
But for like many years, my wife and I moved here from Ontario.
Yep.
We used to go to a lot of shows. It was just a different scene, right? It just seems different. And then partly when I moved down, before I moved here, I went to Sappy Fest. The first two Sappy Fests in New Brunswick.
Sappy Fest?
Yeah, I don't know if you've ever heard of that. Sappy?
No, I've never heard of that.
In New Brunswick. Sackville in New Brunswick. It's called Sappy Fest. They just had their 12th year. And they've
Okay.
had some pretty crazy...
Oh, I must have heard of that if it's
Yeah.
on its 12 years.
Yeah, it's 12th year. So it's right in downtown Sackville, and it basically started 12 years ago. This past year was a 12th year.
Right.
And it was based on, from my understanding, I basically had a friend who moved down here. I came to visit, and I heard about Sappy Fest, and it basically was 3 or 4 of the members of Eric's Trip.
Oh, okay.
Julie Durand, I don't know if you heard of Shotgun Jimmy ever before. Fred Squire, and just that whole, like, there's like a little underground scene back there. They put on this festival, and basically I was going to go to see, like, Rick White, who was in Eric's Trip, very rarely plays anymore, right? And I was
Right.
like, okay, this is cool. He did 2 sets. Same thing, in an old hall. So basically they had an old hall, an old George's Roadhouse, which is a roadhouse.
Yeah.
Down where the train station is, and it's like holds the best sound I've ever heard. I stayed. I got a room at Monet for like $20, or I got a Monet. I paid like $10 a night. The shower.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn.
Flew down, stayed at my a friend of mine from Maitland, got the didn't up there for a week. I didn't know anyone. And it was just kind of neat vibe. I wanted to go see Rick play, some other bands, Chad Van Allen, and basically got there and went, people were like, just the vibe. There was a cool vibe. It was, and that's what I liked about it the whole time was it was probably like maybe a couple hundred people the first couple of years.
Yeah.
Now it's grown. It's like they had who'd they have? Like Sloan's played there. I'm trying to think of the other band that Arcade Fire played it, but they played under Shark Attack. So they were on tour with U2 like 8 years ago.
Oh,
And they
really?
yeah, when they played Moncton, and they couldn't, so they advertised at Shark Attack. And then they ended up playing the night before they were with the U2. So they played there. The Sadies have played there. A guy I really like to listen to is Daniel Romano. Have you ever heard of Daniel Romano?
I don't think so. I'm going to check all these people out, though.
He's kind of cool vibe going on. He's been all kinds. He was in a band called Attack is Black.
The Tack is Black.
Attack is Black. And then he
Okay.
went solo. He wrote a lot. I think he helped write, my understanding is, and he played a lot with the first City and Color albums.
Oh,
He was
okay.
pretty tight with Dallas, and then basically went on his own.
Yep.
And basically did the folk thing. And then I really caught my eye or my ear was I saw him do like a country thing. The whole like Tom T. Hall, the suits.
Oh, okay.
But
Right.
it's original. It's all original stuff.
Yep.
And then to see it live, and I was just like, wow. And he's got a slide pedal guitar guy playing the whole 9 yards.
Oh, that's sick. Yeah.
Full, right? 4 or 5 guys playing. I saw them play at the Seahorse, and I was like, close your eyes. It felt like I wasn't that around them, but just the sound.
Yeah.
And then just kind of followed it. And then now he's gone and changed again. And has this whole different, now he's doing like a groovy pre-60s, 70s sound going on.
Oh, Jesus
Just keeps
Christ.
changing his, it's,
All
but it's
over
just
the place.
changing. But it's kind of neat to see how the guy's changing and listening to how
Yeah.
perspective, right? And it's not even like, he's not doing it on purpose. It's just like, it's just his thing.
Just the way it's going.
Yeah, which I think is cool.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of cool to see musicians are still doing that.
Yeah, it's like that discussion I had earlier, organic being organic and just
Yeah,
growing,
yeah.
like as you're going, doing it. Yeah.
It's still a thing, right? So he basically Attack is Black was punk. He started as a punk, and basically, it's a cycle, right? Everything's a cycle, right?
Yeah.
Everything has a cycle.
Yeah, damn. Yeah, that's exactly what it is too. It's a cycle. Definitely with me, with music, I'll be all over the place.
Yeah,
Like,
and that's so. Then, like, and it's just
Never
kinda neat.
country, by the way,
We changed.
never
It's all cool. I love all kinds of music, and I respect that. I love people that love music.
Yep.
And each their own, right? I necessarily don't judge. I don't necessarily say I like this or that. Like rap, I like some rap. I don't like any I like certain rap, right? I like
Yep.
certain genre of rap. Country, I prefer older country, and then there's some new country that we'll call non-commercial. I like.
Yeah,
But that's
yeah,
each their
non-commercial.
own.
Yeah, that's
Non-commercial,
a
right?
polite way to say it.
Like the new country now is basically glam rock of the 80s.
Yeah, it
it
is.
seems that way.
Yeah.
And that's each their own, right? That's no disrespect to anyone.
Yep.
That's their perspective. It is what it is. It's a cycle. It's basically the 80s. If you think it's almost like pre-70s, 80s country.
You're right. It's a factory too. They just pump it out
Oh,
to
yeah,
a lot of it.
it's all cash, right?
Yeah, damn right. I missed I meant to jump in when you said good vibes to places, but I missed the Blues Fest.
Okay, yeah.
I missed that. That was like the best place that I could go. It, well set up and everything, but unfortunately it took a nosedive into the ground there, whatever happened. But I wish that's why I get excited when I hear somebody's doing something like this, because it's something else, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes the bars do it right sometimes, and sometimes they just don't do it right.
Yeah.
And this is a good way to make, even if you're not ever owed any money doing it.
Yeah,
Let's
that's
just put it
the thing, right? That's kind of where,
Yeah.
with the thing with us, how it went with this time was we got a grant. So we did our homework, and it's all a tie-in, right?
Yeah.
With the province of Nova Scotia and the East Hants actually helped us too.
Nice.
With the Stanfields, right? So I mean, that's an opportunity for us to bring someone that wouldn't come to Maitland.
Yeah,
an opportunity
that's right.
for someone
Yeah,
to come,
Stanfields
to play.
will-
That's an opportunity for them too, right? Like,
Yep.
I don't know them myself, but I'm saying been talking to Jason a little bit that books them, and that's a new spot for them to come into. Like they played Churro, but that's a new option, right?
Yeah.
And for them, right? You've played music, and it's somewhere different.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah, exactly.
It all looks the same probably all the time.
Yeah.
And to go somewhere now, play different in a different sound.
You know what? That makes it up for it a lot of time. I played at a couple bars that were really successful bars, big sound system and everything. You set up and you play and you're like, okay. And then you'll play something like, somewhere like a church, or I've never played in a
Yeah.
church, but somewhere like Keggers or
Yeah.
something with good sound. And it's just like, oh man, this is so easy to work with and it sounds so good. Like sometimes you just need that break to come and be able to set up and relax.
And that's what we did. Like when I was living in Ontario, we did a couple shows. We actually we were living just outside of a little town called Orno, which is would be 45 minutes to an hour east of Toronto.
Right.
And we actually it was called the Orno Town Hall, which was used for the Stephen King movie, The Dead Zone.
Oh, no way.
Yep. I'll send you videos. And that's the venue I was able to use in Ontario. Same thing, right? Old building built. It actually had the veranda or the top balcony where Martin Sheen got shot. The whole, seriously, whole 9 yards, right? And I did about 4 or 5 shows there. And same thing, just a cool vibe, the sound, right? And
Yeah.
was able to get lucky, and some of the musicians that I've met played there. And my first show actually was basically in it was a cool old house in Oshawa, Ontario. And it was called the Velvet Elvis.
The
And it had
Velvet
a-
Elvis.
and it had
Awesome.
it had a cool vibe. It was an old house, basically a coffee house turned into a little bar. Excuse me, and it had a little the downstairs was set up. The front window was a stage, and the bar was on the corner. And basically, people would come and play. Would hold maybe, I'm guessing, I'm trying to remember what we did. I did a couple shows there. We had 50 people in there. They had upstairs, so people would go up and have a coffee or a beer, go upstairs, and there was different lounge. Like it was three stories.
Oh,
And
wow,
actually had
that's-
a balcony up top.
Yep.
You could sit up top and relax, chill, whatever. And it was just cool vibes. And every day of the week had different kinds of music. And just a lot of music of local people. Like there's like the indie, they use the word indie.
Indie, yeah,
But
yeah.
there's tons of bands that went through there. There's local guys like, I don't know if you've heard of a band called Cut the Duke.
Yep.
They were all from Oshawa. That's where they cut their teeth.
Oh, nice.
Small venue, right? And it just that's where I did my first show, and then basically did that, and then I booked a show for my wife's 40th birthday, surprise birthday. We had the Sadie's play for her at a birthday party, and then from there, this Orno Town Hall turned into I did 4 or 5 shows with them there, and then we moved on to the hockey rink above the hockey rink. Actually, same thing, just different vibes, and just create that. It became a spot where people would come.
You really like doing this.
I do, but it's kind of it's both ways.
You're going out on a limb doing it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes and no. It's had its good. It's like everything, right? It's a challenge. I've been fortunate enough that some of the people I've dealt with have helped me.
Yep.
I'm not saying I know what I'm doing at all. I'm having some fun with it.
Yeah, why not,
But
eh?
I'm a believer that it's all about respect with each other and about kind of just keeping in perspective of what's going on.
Yep.
Keep perspective that a lot of these people, that's their living.
Yeah.
Like the Stanfields, the bands like the Sadies and these other people I've dealt with. This is their living, right? This is the way this is how they make their living.
Yeah.
They're people too, which it's just, that's part of it. It's a great part of it, right? Just for them to go, yeah, you know what? We'll play that show. It's kind of cool. It's a new venue.
Yeah, that's really exciting. That's
Yeah,
good.
it's
That's great
yeah.
to see.
Yeah, and it just kind of shows you it's like kind of cool, and you're thinking when you talk to people, what odds for $20? You can see a band like that for $20.
Yeah.
I think that's totally crazy. I think that's totally cool. It's fun. It's just the part of, like you said, like the energy and the work it takes to do it. You know, there's a lot of parts. Like my wife helps me a lot. My wife, Deneen Newport, she helps me a lot with the advertising and the computer part. I'm not a computer whiz at all.
I hear that. I hear that.
And like some of the other different people I've met over the years, some of the agents I've met, they've kind of helped me, coach me, help me with stuff, or just said, hey, you know what, this might not work. This would work.
I think a lot of people might see how serious you are about it too, right?
Yeah, and I'm not trying to take anyone. That's the thing, right?
Yeah, exactly. You're serious about just the good of all of it.
Yeah, and it's the thing, and that's and the double side sword is, I'm kind of breaking my first rule of life is, it's business with friends. Some of these people become my friends. So at the same time, I don't want them getting screwed at all, right?
Yeah,
That's
right.
the thing is realities. You're coming to play, you're getting paid.
Yeah. Yeah.
If we work at a deal, that's the deal we have. It's a handshake.
Yeah.
Or like, you know, if some of these other bands I've dealt with, we have a contract, then that's a contract.
Awesome. And as a musician, I say thank you very much.
Exactly. Right? And I get it. I get it, right? That's the living.
Yeah.
A lot of these guys, that's how they live. That's how they make their money. That's how they
Yeah.
pay for their houses and feed their children, stuff like that, right? It's crazy how many people don't realize that part. People have this people have the world we live in, right? Perspective that, people are musicians and they must be millionaires. And you're going, really? How are they millionaires? Like, how could they be a millionaire? How could there, have a band and there's 4 or 5 guys in the band? How could they be,
Yeah.
they make a couple $100 a night and you cut that 4 ways? Well, that's not
Yeah, just look at the stereotype. I mean, how many musicians have awesome cars?
exactly.
I mean, there's a lot of them that do, but there's a lot more that don't. And then
exactly.
they put their
And the part of
expensive gear
it,
into it.
the world now is if you're, it's the business part.
Yep.
Reality is if you're not good at business or have a partner involved with it, I think that's part of it is the biggest chunk is if you don't have anyone doing it for them. And I have a lot of friends who do it themselves. Like I know a lot of friends of mine who were in bands and said, you know what, I'm going solo.
Right.
Just easier. I get in the computer, I book my own show. It's me. I pay me.
Yep.
If I don't get paid, I'm not, there's no
Yeah.
no inner, whatever, right? So
Yeah,
if
you
you're in a band, right, and there's 4 guys in a car driving home going, well, man, I got no money. You didn't get paid.
Screwed.
Yeah, who's paying for the gas or whatever? Car breaks down, blah, blah, whatever, that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
You're working a regular job too on top of that. It just, a lot of guys don't work. Like the music is the work.
Yeah.
I guess that's the emphasis people forget is the work is the music.
Yeah.
That's the part of being an artist. It's no different than painting, right? Is the part of, that's their job. They're an artist. If
Yep.
you don't pay them, in the world we live in is, that people want everything now. They want it cheap.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, that's the Stanfields. I mean, going to see them, that's just a show in itself. Even like I've had a lot of people just say that they don't really gravitate towards that type of music, but when they watch the Stanfields play live, it's a different. You forget about all of that.
Yeah.
Because like, just friggin' pros, right?
Yeah, totally. Exactly. Yeah. It's just they put on a good show.
Yeah.
Even if you don't like that to me, like I've seen them twice, and I've both times I saw them was acoustically.
Yeah.
But just to watch, the thing for me was to see them play acoustically kind of blew my mind because I don't play myself, but I watch a lot of people I know that play, and to see them do it acoustically, like I said, blew my mind.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. It'd just be like watching, like Guns N' Roses live, and then going to watch them play acoustically. You'd be like, "Holy jeez, that's really
So they
exciting
pull it
and
off.
different."
With how, you're curious to see how they
right.
pull it off, right?
Yep.
And that's my thing with certain bands I watch. I want to see how when you hear it live, you're like, okay, that's cool. It's close.
Yep.
There's bands you go to see sometimes. You're like, that's not even close to the album. Or
Oh,
they won't
yeah.
play. Or I'm always curious when I go to a live show is to see what they'll play if they're gonna play it safe.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
When they play that
right.
song, you're kind of like, okay,
Yeah.
I love that song. Like, let's particularly say a band and say, you know what? There's a song that's not popular that no one else knows. You're like, I wonder if they'll do it and play that song.
Yeah.
That's for me when I watch bands. That's what I like. I go, wow, you know what? They pulled it off. Or yeah, that's cool. They've done that and they can do it live, regardless of what it is. That's for me. My thing about music, I kind of because I don't play, I'm like, wow, they did it right. Because I've never been in a studio, but in a studio is different, right? You can pull it off. You can bring a guy in that plays a different guitar, or a guy plays organ or whatever. And you're going, okay, let me see you play that live.
Yeah. Right.
And some guy, whatever, no disrespect to anyone that plays music, but sometimes they don't pull it off.
Well, yeah, that's the thing with the Black Rock Road when we're
Yep.
doing when we're doing stuff and we're doing we did a little EP, a four song EP. We went down and the guy that was producing it was like, "Do you want to add like a shaker here or do this here, this here?" And we were thinking about it, and I was just like, "Well, I mean, this is stuff that we're gonna have to do live if people hear it on an EP, and like, why not just play it like we're gonna play it, like you know what I mean?"
Yeah.
And it's kind of whatever, playing it safe on that part, but I know exactly what you mean. For example, like,
Yeah,
so-
you're kind of like, okay. For me, when I gravitate to some bands, it's just like I want to hear them play it live.
yeah.
But I don't play myself, so you're kind of like, okay, it's kind of neat to do that, right? Kind of neat.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I never went to a Kiss concert. I don't think I'd be too involved in it, but god damn it, I'd go to Kiss Acoustic any day just to see, and they've done that unplugged.
Actually, I saw them the first in Toronto when they went without makeup.
Oh, really? Really?
Yeah,
That'd be a trip.
yeah.
So,
I saw them with Ted Nugent, and Wasp.
really? That'd be awesome. Yeah, so they're like, that year they would have been in a craze because everybody got to see their faces.
Yep. And it's I saw
And
them.
was
and I
that,
saw-
do you remember that being a big thing?
Yeah, it was like it was a big huge deal. It was probably so I've been like mid '80s, probably. Yeah, it was like a big huge deal. Like
So you had friends would be like, "Oh, did you hear that they came up?" So, oh yeah, you would have been there
Yeah,
for it.
yeah,
You would have been that friend.
Yep, and same with like same it's kind of because that same time Ted Nugent was kind of still doing the whole Wango Tango thing, right?
Crazy.
And then kind of like vaguely remember. I don't remember a lot about my childhood, but I remember some of the concerts. Like I remember seeing AC/DC in the '80s, like 8 times, just because of living
With
in
every
Toronto.
drummer, probably. Or what?
No,
how-
it was basically like for
same
those about the
drummer the whole-
rock and all that kind of stuff. We saw them
Really?
like and like to see them then. Like I cherish actually think sometimes like
Yeah.
and you forget like you said how you change your music. I love them like growing up in the early '80s and whatever. As you get older, like I love that. No, so like you grow different. You like it now, and like I heard the other day on the radio, like I missed that song or
Yeah,
to see it
right.
live, right? But then you kind of watch and go all the different stuff that goes on in the world you live in. You're like, okay, well now Angus is playing with Guns N' Roses. What happened there? Like now he plays with Guns N' Roses, does he not? I think he's been playing with
Jesus,
Guns N' Roses.
I don't
because
know.
like they fired the singer and whatever, right? It's just like
They
people are paying like 60, like so you're on back to you go to like you're saying it's $20 for say the Stanfields, but they'll pay $200 to go see.
Oh yeah, Tom Petty wanted 180 to go see his concert. I mean, I'd pay that now. A few years ago, I wouldn't. I'll get him on the next one. But now, if he came back, I'd be.
And
Like,
it's
I'm going.
the thing too, right? It becomes is because of all the different stuff, the DVDs, right? So now you can
Yeah.
that you have a. I'm kind of hoping with our venue we have is catching that crowd that you go, okay, you'll pay $40 for the DVD. Why won't you pay $20 for now? Now you can come up with your wife, so and have
Yeah.
a dinner,
Yeah.
sit in an intimate show for $40. It's better than the DVD, and also probably get to meet the people.
Yeah, really. Yeah, you get to shake their hand.
Yeah.
Only 160 people there, or whatever.
Yeah, but same. So you basically, who needs a big screen TV when you can go pop for, like, say, for the Stanfields?
Oh, yeah.
On October 21st for $20, you can
Yeah.
go boom, right? 120, 130 people, right? You can go boom. Who needs a DVD? Who needs, YouTube's so big now,
Yeah.
but the intimate part, that's like, from when they played the Marigold, right? It's just that like acoustic set. You're like, okay, that's great to see that happen. To see them do that. Same thing. People will pay I can't remember what they're paying for them at the
Yeah, I don't
the
even.
Marigold now, right? Like
I don't
that's-
even know. Last time I had paid to see them, it was like I said, I got. Jesus, I don't even remember. Were they bracelets music week? Is that how that works?
Maybe, yeah,
I
yeah.
think it's a bracelet. You buy
Yeah.
a bracelet for
Yeah.
the weekend
Yeah.
or whatever.
But I see they're actually playing this year too. They're playing in Truro.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're playing. I'm not sure what night because Winter Sleep's playing too this year.
I haven't even seen the lineup.
I haven't.
all.
That's just bits and pieces. I've seen little bits and pieces of it. but
Yeah, I don't think they dropped it all at once. Yeah. Well, that's good. So what? How many other bands have went out to this anyway? How many?
So I've had. Let's see who else I've had out there. I've had a young bunch group out of Fredericton, New Brunswick called the Falling Leaves, which is basically a 6-piece, which was like a folky rock sound, psychedelic sound. They call it psychedelic folk.
Oh,
So they came out and they played for us, and they actually had a side project. So there's 6 of them that actually interact and play 3 together as separate bands.
oh, really?
So they did like a 4-hour set
Yeah.
under different names. So there's the Montgomery Street Band, and then there was Calvin Johnson. He's a solo guy. He has like the big acoustic guitar, and they played for like 3 or 4 hours. And then they came and formed. The last set was basically the Fallen Leaves, which was a 6-piece.
Oh, nice.
And yeah, so it was just kind of neat to see like these guys are like in their mid-20s, and watching how they play, you're just like, wow, like, you know, and then it was kind of neat because we had a mix of crowd of people. We had some younger people and we had a lot of older, like, so out where I live in Maitland is a mix of crowds. So we have a lot of, excuse me, older crowds, like, which like prefer standard country,
Right.
gospel, and then there's a younger crowd. So actually a lot of the older crowd came out and saw some of the country, which they were like, oh, and it was so cool to see these younger guys play it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like it was a respect thing, right? They're like, oh, this is totally cool.
Yeah.
And then we had a young guy named Ethan Ash. He's from England. He came in. He played for us there too, and he's opened for Ed Sheeran.
Oh, okay. Yep.
And he's a lot of his shows is basically out of New Brunswick. Came in New Brunswick. I got connected with a guy. His name is Don Coleman, who books a lot of shows in Moncton area. Basically passed along to me and said, I have this. Do you think it'd work? And then, you know, we checked the pricing and said, yeah, it would work. We've been fortunate enough that some of the B&Bs throw me rooms, which helps.
Oh,
the guys.
good.
That kind of, so everyone in the community is kind of helping out, right? It kind of helps bring people in. And same thing. So you're basically, like you said, we're kind of hoping to break even.
Yeah.
With someone, right? Because a lot of they don't, you know, some people don't know who they are. So we're relying on the internet, but then you have a lot of people that don't have the internet.
Yeah.
So you're basically hoping for the follow. It's true, right? Because they still base
You're
on
right.
they have like the local paper, and that's what so we advertise in that.
Yep.
And we're also still doing the internet, and then we also have what is the other? I have another one lined up, which would be Thanksgiving weekend, which would be October 8th, which is a band called the New Customs. They're based out of Winnipeg.
Oh, okay.
So they're going to be in Cape Breton for Celtic Colors. The Celtic Colors, the big music festival in Cape Breton. I think it's the Celtic Colors. It's called.
I don't know. I never.
It's a big up in Cape Breton, so it's like the middle of October. So it's Emily Coonley and Dale Brown. So Dale Brown's parents actually live in just outside of Maitland.
Oh, okay.
So they're coming. I booked them, and it's basically $10 at the door. And it's gonna be at 7:30 on October 8th. And then who else have I had in there? That's all I've really had going on in there. I've had previously I used the fire hall.
Sadie's.
The Sadies have played the fire hall. They played the fire hall.
The
They played
fire hall. Okay, yeah.
I had you guys with Ben, and then I've done 2 shows with the Good Brothers.
Oh, nice.
Which has gone over really well, actually.
Really?
So yeah, it's same thing. It goes back to the old country, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of people know who they are, right? And that's
Yeah.
basically, I kind of know them. Like I know the Sadies, and I know the Dallas and Chavez dad, Bruce, and they have an agent, Don, who's in New Brunswick, and basically booked them. It would have been 4 years ago. They came and we sold out. And it was kind of neat to see there was actually people from the surrounding area that came that have not been in Maitland in the fire hall sitting together in over 20 years to come see them, right? Because they knew who they were. Because what are the odds, right? What are the odds of
Good, yeah.
what is the cool thing of that much talent, right? Because like, you know, the band, like say the Good Brothers, they put on a show. They're performers.
Yep.
They do country, they do all kinds of different stuff, but they also perform. They put a show on. And that's the thing, right? And that's what, you know, you gravitate to, right? To watch, like, you know, for the longest time, I didn't really get into country, and then I kind of went and saw them live, and I'm like, wow, right? Just a different
Yeah.
perspective of country.
Yeah.
And watching, because I like to say these a lot, watching what they came, like where they came, the grassroots part, the going back to, because, you know, I like to read a fair bit, and some information I have, I go back to, and you watch like the Good Brothers, and, you know, they were in Hayden Asbury in the time. That's how they started.
Okay. Yep.
But like Jerry Garcia played on their first album.
Oh God, really?
Like how cool? Like how is that?
Yeah,
like that is not.
that's
that,
pretty
like,
awesome.
Like, that's awesome. Like that's
Yeah.
and then to watch that, you know, that they're still going. Like they just did. I think they just came back from Europe, Germany for like the 25th year in a row. They've done Europe. Like how many people can say that?
Yeah.
How many bands in Canada can say they've done that? Who can say, like, you know, that's a pretty big deal.
Yeah, that's
when you
huge.
think about it, right? And you think about that, you know, that they've gone through the whole how the whole music industry's changed. Like from the 70s, you know, they did quite well to now it's back to, no disrespect to anyone, back to they're in a van, 4 guys traveling,
That's
booking shows, right?
yeah.
Going in and
Work,
they
work,
come,
work.
and they
Yeah.
work, and they come into New Brunswick, and that's where they have family from Bathurst.
Yeah.
They come back once a year and they play, and I've been fortunate enough where I've been able to book them a couple times there, right, and been able to work at a
That's
price.
fortunate.
And that's just
Yeah.
a great, for me, it's just a great, phenomenal option to bring that to like where I live.
Hell yeah.
Where else can you pay $20?
Yep.
to see some country greats that you'll never probably see anywhere else.
Yeah.
Because they're only doing 8 or 9 shows in all the Maritimes.
Yeah, right.
And it's been kind of cool both ways that they keep us in mind, that they want to come play there.
Oh, hell yeah. Well, that's good, man. Like, if you get something, like, keep the ball rolling,
Yeah.
keep it going, people want to get in there and do that.
That's the idea with the new idea with the fire hall worked great. Now we have this church, which opens a whole new avenue, right?
So how tickled are you about it? Like, to have that and have this opportunity to do it?
I think it's great. It's just it's just the work of doing it, right? Just the part of
That's a lot.
working at the same time, right?
Would this be your hobby?
Yeah, it's my hobby.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so it's just kind of swinging both trees or whatever they call it, double-sided sword all the time, right? You're kind of both. My wife helps me a lot. My wife Deneen helps me so much, which it's for both of us.
It's pretty rude to say, but did I meet her at the fire hall?
I can't remember.
I don't think I
maybe
did.
Not. No, I don't. Not sure. No, maybe not. She might have been working, but yeah, just kind of.
Maybe she was working that night.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
But
'cause
yeah, so yeah, just kind of the it's something that we've kind of both enjoyed doing.
Yeah.
But
Is she as enthusiastic
she
as
likes,
you?
Yep. She likes both sides, and just the opportunity to kind of to bring all these different bands to a spot where we live.
Yep.
That they actually want to come and play there. Like how fortunate, cool is it? Like the Stanfields are going to come and play in Maitland, Nova Scotia.
Yeah.
Like what are the odds?
Yeah.
What are the odds of that? Like, I'm like, that's not disrespectful. It's just like, but I think it's a cool thing. And I'm not saying it's me by myself. I'm just saying it's just a cool thing.
It's just out of the way a little bit.
It's kind of, it's just, but it's kind of a nook and you've been out there. It's like a cool little nook and cranny. And if you've never been there, but to come and visit it, it has a vibe.
Oh yeah.
It has a cool, different vibe. And that's what I'm kind of thinking that maybe when people come to visit it, it's got a vibe. That maybe it, because the Highway 215 goes to Burnt Coat, all these different spots. There's always something different going on, right? For not all the people who are into going to Halifax.
Yep.
And it's right, Finger from Truro, it's half an hour. New Glasgow's 45 minutes to an hour under that kind of stuff.
Yep.
Like we've had people come when we had the cities and even the Good Brothers driving in from Cape Breton.
Yeah, that's a long drive.
But even for them, right? What are the options? What are the for people who like these bands? What are the chances of going to see them?
They're just gold. They're just hit gold, big time.
Like and that's the thing is it's lucky enough to be able to do that, right? The fortunate enough that all these bands are unfortunate enough to be able they'll deal with us and deal with me and the organization I'm with and my wife and the different you kind of learn all the different ropes and go with it and not take it personal.
Yeah.
Different stuff that goes on. You think you got a deal and also no, you don't have a deal, and it's business, right? It's part of
you
what
get
happens.
used to that. It'd probably be like the first couple of them would be like, but it is.
I'll
business.
I get nervous. Yeah, it's weird because I love the nervousness and I don't.
So you spend a little bit of time on this every day. Like
I try to.
Try. It's probably on your mind all the time.
It is now because I'm getting close. Well, like I'm already there in my mind. I'm already October 21st. I'm already like in the week before going, okay, I need this to happen. I really want it to work well. I want everyone to be happy. I want the people coming to be happy. I want the band to be really, really happy.
Yeah.
I think the more that different bands and different performers come to play there and enjoy it, it just opens a whole new opportunity, right? And if it's done right, people will come and same with the musicians that if they have a good time necessarily, that maybe sometimes it's not about the money, right? I know a lot of people play music that's not necessarily about the money. It's about having a good time, a good vibe, or something different, something different, right? Like some of the bands they come in and they play the fire hall to 100 people. They love that. They love opposed to 1,000 people. They're playing to 100 people.
Yep.
Opposed to like you're saying the vibe of they go to bars and everyone's worried about their phone.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Like,
Absolutely.
I know a lot of people. I know that the musicians I know that really bother them. I don't play myself, but I can imagine how disrespectful it is. Disrespectful.
Yeah,
That's
that
the
would
world
be
we live
bad,
in, right? Or play at a bar and they got the sports going on. You're kind of going,
Yeah. Well, that shit never really bothered me any because I'm there to do one thing anyway. But yeah, it would be. That's discouraging. It just looks bad. Just looks bad.
It's just kind of a weird thing to think of people like it's just you're back and forth. Like say like we're saying about the venue. So you pay $20 to see a band, or people go to a bar to listen to karaoke. You're like no disrespect to karaoke.
Yeah. Going, I don't want to go to karaoke. Like I personally, there's nobody that ever really blew my socks off at a karaoke show.
Yeah.
Never.
But that's the trends, right? The trends that you have.
Yeah,
the
right.
world we live in.
Yep.
That's the thing, right? Like everyone's into the whole different back and forth, and you're kind of going, wow. But I mean, for music, cool.
Yeah, and seeing a band in a different light, doing a different show, like you said, you get excited how they're going to pull it off, how they're going to pull it off and stuff. And sometimes that can sway somebody's opinion on a whole genre of music.
Oh yeah.
Like, you know.
Yeah, that's. I mean, I remember when my first time I went and saw the Sadies. My wife got me tickets for them, and I was like, "Wow!" Blew my mind. Right, just kind of like the whole thing, and then kind of went and I took every time I went. I brought friends, and they're just like, "Wow,
Insane, eh?
yeah." And it's same with the Stanfields. When you go and you're like, "Wow," you start watching, right? And you're like, "Wow."
I'm gonna have to go start going to every one of these. I think. Because, you know, I feel like I'm missing out now when you're sitting here talking to me.
We've
about
actually
it.
played with the idea of, are you on the list? That was kind of like our idea because the church actually has a basement. So the idea down the road would be that the basement would be the green room. It could be
Nice.
turned into people pay extra money
Yep.
to actually have like a wine and cheese with the band.
Yep.
But the idea of the music somewhere down the road, if it worked out, was, are you on the list?
Yeah, right.
So you don't announce who's playing, right?
Yeah.
And all of a sudden go, bam, I have so-and-so playing.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like, you know, we ran into the shows we put on in Ontario. We got lucky enough. We had, like, when the Sadies played, their mom and dad would come play with them. Or Greg Keeler from Blue Road would come and play with them, right? Like, it's just like, never knew it was going to happen.
Yeah, right.
But the buzz, just the buzz of people are like, hey, that might happen.
Well, you know what? You give them the freedom to do that too in a venue like this. You have, it could be anything. Like when we used to play a lot at the Split Crow, it'd be like sometimes you run into Ben Edwards or something like that.
Yeah.
Be like, hey, if you show up, why don't you come out and play
Yeah,
a couple
totally.
songs with us?
Yeah.
Very same thing. And it's not like they have a bunch of people or people they have to impress or keep up on something.
Yep.
It's they can just rock out.
Yep. And
do
they
the
like,
thing.
or they do like covers. They do like,
Yeah,
you know,
like anything at all,
Yeah, like,
like-
this show I did, the Velvet Elvis, would have been like 2004.
I love that name, Velvet Elves.
I had so it was Travis Dallas Good for the Sadies. I had Greg Keeler and Josh Finlayson from the Skydiggers, and it was all they did was acoustic set for an hour and a half, and all they did was basically stuff they like. It was kind of neat to see them stripped down in acoustics, playing what they play, right?
Yeah.
And for them, right, they were just like, yeah, we never get to do this.
Yeah, this is the shit that we play at home.
Yeah.
And like just kind of having a beer or
Yeah,
whatever.
and it was like 40 or 50 people, right? And we kept it
Cool.
really like to only 40 or 50 people.
yeah.
And we kept it that way, right? And that's the whole thing was it's like this. So you think of bands coming, an opportunity to play to 150 people. It's the same thing, intimate.
That's really cool.
That's kind of the idea. We'll see if we pull it off.
I
Fingers
think.
crossed.
Well, I mean, I don't see how this is not going to work. You telling me this is there's no doubts in my mind that this is gonna be an ongoing thing.
I'm kind of hoping it takes off and we kind of go with it, right? But the thing is, like you said, that because it's a hobby, the idea behind it, part of it is that to do like 2 shows a year,
Yeah.
2 good
Good ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or even doing like we've talked about maybe next year, depending on grants, is doing like a songwriters circle.
Oh yeah, right.
Go to the winter.
Are they doing any of those in town right now?
I don't know if there is, but
They
we're talking.
usually used to do it at the Marigold. I think
Okay.
they used to do it.
Yeah, so
I'm
we're kind
not
of looking
sure.
at that going. So with some of the different grants going, we bring say certain people in that aren't from the province.
Yeah, right.
So have some people from the province, but also from away.
Yeah.
That brings them into the province.
Yeah.
Because you know, for you've played in bands, the whole thing of coming and bringing them down from where they're from, it becomes a big haul.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Because how many shows you put together, right? You
Yeah.
figure to drive back and forth, say from Toronto or from Montreal, that's a lot of clicks.
Yeah.
So hopefully the plan is that's going to work out and the word is good and everyone has a good environment and the bands that play all enjoy it and they spread the word to their friends.
Yep. That's what it's all about.
That's kind of the idea, right?
Yep, it's well, I'm gonna do my best to help support this.
Cool. I really appreciate it.
And you know,
appreciate it.
thanks for bringing over all this
problem.
information. I'm gonna post all your links,
Cool.
pictures, any information that you can give me. This will probably be uploaded here in 3 or 4 days.
Okay.
So if you wanna put something together, any more stuff that you have
Cool.
together, just
Yeah,
let
I'll
me
send it to
know.
you.
And
Cool.
well, that's
Perfect.
awesome, man.
Thank you very much for
you.
all the
You had this
help.
You had this all. You can tell you're on the ball because you had this all ready to go. I'm like, oh shit, he's got notes.
Not all. This is kind of whatever, right? Just want to be professional, right? Because
Yeah.
people, if they're coming,
Well, you're very
it's not
serious about
professional, right?
this.
Yeah.
All right, man.
Okay, thank you.
again.
Thank you.
On
Okay.
behalf of all
Okay.
musicians, you're a friggin'
Thank you.
stellar guy, man.
No
That's
problem. Thank
awesome. All right, there you have it.
thanks again, Scott, for being on the podcast. Thank you again, everybody, for listening. I appreciate it. I suggest you get your tickets to the show. The tickets are going to sell out fast. They're about a month away from it. I think they're over halfway sold so far. So you got to jump on that. I'll leave the links below where you can get tickets once again in the description of this video. So if anybody knows how to put on a good show, it's Scott Fraser, definitely. He's been to a lot of them. We actually sat down after the podcast, and I think we talked for about an hour straight as he showed me music and showed me different songs. And I'm not going to lie, everything that he was showing me, I was digging. So I'll be going to this show for sure. I need to check it out. I need to check out the sound. I regret not doing this podcast earlier because I could have enjoyed a lot of shows this summer. But anyway, I know for the future now. And I got a Stanfield song here on the way out. If you want to take a listen to it, these guys kick ass. I can't wait to see them. Oh man, it's going to be such a good show. Anyway, this is Footsteps in Sand by the Stanfields. And have a good day, everybody, and enjoy your time.
Don't hold your head like you did before. You've been traveling for miles, only to find another door. Like footsteps made in sand, disappearing in this land. Dreaming's a lost cause when you're down here. Stands on end, and your will it starts to bend. It's exactly what they see. In the end, what's left is dreams. I know. I got a pocket full of overdue bills. I got a notion for my own cheap thrills. I'll take my time, it'll be alright. Well, if you'll walk with me tonight, oh! I heard a song on the radio that don't move you like you want. Do what you're gonna do when your heroes are all gone. Like footsteps made in sand, disappearing in this land. Dreaming's a lost cause when you're down here. When you're down here. When you what you